Hi friends, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about wisdom and how we can grow in wisdom. Wisdom is so important. It says in Proverbs 4:7, I'm going to read it. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. And so think about that. Wisdom is the principal thing. That just means it's like the most important thing. If you have wisdom, you can figure everything else out that you need to figure out in your life. And obviously, your life will go a lot smoother. There's always going to be, problems in life, right? We can't avert every tragedy and every bad thing that happens in this world. It's just part of living in a fallen world. However, if we have wisdom, there's a lot of unnecessary suffering that we can prevent in our own lives and in the lives of those around us, the world. And obviously there's a lot of tragedy. Just watch the news, right? There's just tons of tragedy in the world today. And we know, obviously we all, know that there's, foolish people and wise people, and it's a spectrum. And so we want to be over in the wisdom area section, right? And none of us come into this world wise. I mean, we all come in pretty foolish. It says in the Bible that even Jesus had to grow in wisdom. So before he launched his ministry, he was growing in wisdom. And obviously it's easy to see if we look at pop culture, there's just so much foolishness in the world. And that's one of the reasons, the main reason I wanted to start a channel was to hopefully promote, God's wisdom, spiritual wisdom, because it's one thing to obtain knowledge, and a lot of people have a lot of knowledge, are very intelligent, smart, but they use it for crafty, evil things rather than for good. So guys, let's talk about wisdom today and how can we grow in wisdom. And I am here to confess, I played the fool in my life for a very long time. I feel like I did not make the most of the time. You know what I mean? I just kind of lived for today, just wanted to have fun, have a good time. I really wasn't thinking about long-term consequences. And that's obvious in a lot of the decisions that I made. So now that I'm older and wiser, thank God, I want to pass on my wisdom, to the younger generation, and even some older people still need wisdom. We all need to grow in wisdom. Remember, it's a spectrum. We've never attained to the full measure of wisdom, right? Only God knows everything here. So we're going to grow. How can we grow in wisdom? Well, in Psalms 11:10, I really need my reading glasses, guys. It says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And then it goes on to say that all who follow his precepts have good understanding. That's the NIV version, the nearly inspired version, they call it. There's other, like the King James and Living Translation. I like that one. And it says that all who obey his commandments will grow in wisdom. So that tells me, because a lot of people never seem to grow in wisdom. Is it just my observation? I'm sure you guys can relate to this, right? Doesn't it seem like people, sometimes it's like, you're getting older and you're still not any wiser. What's going on with you? And it's because they really just don't have the fear of the Lord, guys. Because until you have the fear of the Lord in you, you cannot grow in wisdom. That's what the scripture says. It says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And if you think about that, if I think about like any discipline, there's like a starting point. Let's think about mathematics, okay? Like you can't understand math, the concepts of math, unless you first understand the numbers and how to count, right? How to count. And 1 + 1 is 2. Like that's the very fundamental thing there. And that is the same thing with wisdom. Wisdom has its beginning at the fear of God. So people who do not have a healthy fear of God, they're not going to be very wise, and they're not going to grow in wisdom very quickly, because I believe that the more fear of God you have, the more that you will then be able to advance in wisdom. And a lot of people don't even know what that means. They think that fear of God means that you are afraid of God. And, there's reasons, there's times when you might need to be afraid of God, although that's, we know, right, that it means to have a reverence for God and an understanding of who God is. And so until you really understand like the majesty of God and who he is, and the fact that the power that God has, over your soul, then you're just not going to be able to grow in wisdom very much. So I do hope that sometimes, when we're praying for people, we need to pray that they will come to an understanding and have a fear of God, like the fear of God, so that they can then grow in wisdom. So anyway, guys, that was just a thought. And once you get that fear of God in you, then the Spirit of God will begin to unfold all of the spiritual truths, in your life, so that you can then have the wisdom to live by and to make those decisions. And just like Jesus, you'll be able to grow in wisdom. There's going to be things that you don't understand at first. I mean, there's always going to be things you don't understand, because it's just how it goes. We can't know everything on this side of eternity. So we just grow in wisdom. We meditate on the scriptures, and as you meditate on the scriptures and through prayer, you will grow in wisdom, and your path will grow. You'll advance, and things will become known to you, which way to go, what to do, how to handle situations. And I know that for me, one thing that I've had to do is to not be so impulsive. That's been a hard lesson for me, because I don't know why I'm like that. I just like action. I like to act. And so sometimes I haven't always acted with the most wisdom in my life. I've had to learn to respond instead of react, and to take time to think, because I can be very impulsive. I don't know, it's just my nature, right? I'm jealous of people who are so thoughtful, but you know what? Sometimes I get annoyed with them too, guys, because you can be almost too thoughtful at times to where you just don't even act. So there needs to be a healthy medium, I believe, because sometimes you can overthink things to where you never act. But anyway, that is a part of wisdom, right? Is to think before you act, and to respond to life, rather, things around you, rather than impulsively make decisions. So that is where I'm at on wisdom. I am trying to continue to grow in wisdom and meditate on the truths of God. And guys, I will share some wisdom that I've learned in my life here with you on this channel. And of course, if you have any wisdom that you want to share, please comment, because we could all grow in wisdom, and we'll grow in wisdom together. So guys, again, if you're lacking wisdom, think about, do you fear God? Do you have a healthy respect for who God is? Have you had a revelation of that? Because until you do, then you're going to be stagnant in growing in wisdom. And of course, we need that, because it is, after all, the principal thing that helps us to live a better life. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching.